Story time. On my way right now to feed the birds in a park nearby my sister's place here in London, and I do this often because feeding the bird is getting close to God, because you're feeding God creation. Okay, God likes that, And when you give, for God, when you give the most, He will reward you the most, even more than you have given. So you're always proactively trying to give God the best. You know what I mean? Do not give Him like a table with three legs. Do not give Him a blind horse, or things like that. Give God the best in order for God to give you the most, because God will always reward you. He will increase your rewards, trillions and trillions, okay? Because He has to see in your heart that you are giving kind of person, and you don't hold back when it comes to God. When it comes to God, she should not think twice about giving God something, God, He has all, He needs. God is abundance. He doesn't need you to give Him, anything, right? But it's a gesture coming from a heart to God, okay? So when you give, God will come batting for you, you know what I'm saying? In the darkest days, the enemy, they know when you give God. When you give God is God will give you abundance. Okay? So that you have to understand that. Story time. Yes, I lost my track of I was gonna tell you a story, and then I kind of diverted to this word of wisdom, I guess. This park, I've been coming to this park forever, but I had this, lady walk up to me. It was a black lady, he walked up to me and stuff. I've noticed her. She's not a lady, like she's in her 20s, a girl, I would say. She was on my computer in the park, sitting at a bench and whatnot. And, making prayers, remixing and stuff like that. And, I was wearing a sandal, like a leather sandal, but I have taken it off and put it next to me, and I grounded my feet, like, to the ground and whatnot, because, I just want to feel grounded, And, she walked by and she kept looking at me. I could see her, beside of my eye, that she was looking at me, and I'm like, okay. I didn't really lift my head to look at her. But then she walked back. She sat in a bench like about 25 or 30 feet away from me. She came walking back, and she asked me if I know where the bathroom was, or and I said, yeah, it's over there, and I showed it to her. But you think it'll be open today? And it's a public park, and they have people here, and there's also a cafe. So I said to her, if you can't find the park bathroom open, go to the cafe. Maybe you just gotta get something, right? A cup of coffee, and then they'll be able to use the washroom, right? If you ask nicely, they'll let you without buying anything, But it's a courtesy, to ask, and maybe buy something. If you buy something, you don't have to really, you can just say, okay, I would like this, and can I use the washroom? You order something and you go use the washroom, right? So anyhow, that's what happened. And then I said to her that what it was, and she goes, oh, but I don't want to walk that far and see to see if it was open, it's going to be open, whatever, and it's tough, And I said, well, if someone has to go, you don't have to think, you got to go here on the ground, like, if you really have to go, you can go, But you have to go, right? So, well, I just thought that was really odd. And then she walked back, and then she walked back again, and she goes to me, I do flexology or flexology, something rather about flexing. I can't remember what it. And she goes to me, your feet have great posture, position or something rather. I can't remember the word she used. And they're very nice, on the ground, and it looks like you don't have any issues with your feet and whatnot. And I said to her, oh, my feet got a lot of beaten. I've been all over the place, And, so I said to her, I don't really take care of my feet or anything like that, She goes, oh, do you mind if I can take a picture of your feet? And I thought that was very bizarre. Would you go to a park and ask a picture of somebody's feet? I looked at her and I said, oh my God, she's working for the enemy, right? In my head, just a thought crosses my mind. I said, oh, they sent her to take a picture of my foot. And I just said, because I'm that kind of daring person, I said, okay, the enemy wanted a picture of my foot. Yeah, you can go ahead and take it. I lifted my leg and she took a picture of it, right? And the bottom of my foot, to be exact, because this is how they do. Remember the day I created prayers about hands and feet? That the day, and I looked at her, I was like, oh, so you want to do some witchcraft on my feet? And I'm going to let you take a picture, and I'm going to do a prayer to destroy her. If she is in it and trying to do witchcraft on me, I will destroy her. That's what I was thinking. I've just always been that way, you know what I mean? And I just feel like I'm not going to be afraid of witchcraft. I've been in this game for far too long to be afraid of witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? They're, attacking me nonstop, right? So for them to want to take a picture of my foot so you can do witchcraft, I'm not going to be fearful of that. You want a picture? Sure. You can take a color picture if you want, Shouldn't be afraid of, these people, And that's the story. So I'm in the park right now, and same bench actually. Nobody's sitting there. Got lucky, and I'm gonna work on some prayers and enjoy the sun. I'm gonna soak up the sun. Hopefully the sun would decimate this cloud hovering around, and we'll be able to penetrate the soil of the earth. Our cell structure as well, right? So that's what's going on. So do not be afraid of the enemy, where they wanted to do to you, whatnot. Be strong, and and these people, they're gonna try and keep trying you. They keep trying your patient, and keep trying you forever, because they're endorsed. They're working for the enemy, and some of them honestly, some of them are aware what they're doing is wrong. But they were told, do not worry, nothing is going to happen. And nothing is going to happen on earth. But judgment is going to come on, judgment is going to come. God, they can't protect you from judgment, They cannot protect you from God. Judgments, okay? When you do horrible things to people and a person says, I do not forgive you, you are shit out of luck, okay? So, because God is, forbidden oppression on himself. God doesn't oppress anyone. He has forbidden it. And he forbidden it between people. You know what I'm saying? Witchcraft is an oppression, a form of oppression. When you try to control someone through enchantment, magic, and energy work and stuff like that, especially when it's harm is done, that person has to forgive you. Okay? That's a true story, So do not worry. You don't need to be. You're protected by these governments, but you never be protected from God. Okay? And that's what I want to tell you. Okay? I'm not gonna forgive. because you're trying to harm me or harm my family and harm target individuals, I'm not going to be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? And I just want judgments. I want heavenly judgments. The heavenly court coming to earth and judging all of you for what you've done.